later. There's approximately 1,200-ish staked contracts for brokers that were signed up between January of 2019 and like December of 2019. All of those people have never heard of the word BrokerApp before. They've never been exposed to it. I haven't told them about it except for the Reloaded webinar. So those that caught that webinar obviously have some information on it, but apart from that, they have no information. The top brokers that I have or had are not familiar with the platform. They don't have the mobile app, and so maybe this gentleman falls into that category. Those people are quite lucky, even if they don't know that, because they are getting grandfathered in, and so there's something that needs to be done whereby I ingratiate all of them into the broker app and get the app on their phone and explain to them what it is that they could do with this, that is a elevation over what they used to be able to do. But we're talking about a colossal amount of interest that has been standing still, and the amount of progress that the amount of updates and information that this group of people probably have is in multitudes higher than them, and those are the people that were.
If you don't mind, I'll cut in and kind of cover that part, because there was a time period somewhere in between February and July, August, that you buckled down with this coronavirus BS, and you went to town with your team, and you attacked everything and anything that you could think of, and as far as developments go. And so by the time you brought your head up out of water in August, you had a whole shiny new program, and basically the old people don't have a clue what's going on. Sorry, they have an old idea, but they don't have a new idea with all what you had bumped up during that coronavirus, which became a great asset for you to be focused. So that's kind of where he's at. So he's got a lot that you couldn't cover in the next 30 minutes, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's for sure. They would be well suited to go watch the Reloaded webinar, because it introduces the idea, and I'm in the process of articulating what it is that just from a top-down perspective, the broker app and what that means, how each constituent can interact with it. And by constituent, I mean the brands that want to join, that want to access brokers, the brokers obviously that are already involved, and the new brokers that are not yet involved. That accompanied with just a lot of training that is being released, is kind of already, as you said, in the back office, but people don't know where to access it. So I guess what I was trying to say before was, yeah, there just needs to be a bridging of the two worlds. And from what I know, and because I still, the brokers that I'm referring to are still doing everything they know how to do. What I mean by that is they're doing OTC trades every day. They're doing everything that they signed up for, but they have not been introduced to any of the niceties or the features that we talk about on this call all the time. So I will definitely be reaching out to them kind of from leader to leader, and informing them about what it is that they now have privy access to, and giving them the pathway to being able to access it. I suspect that will go a long way, considering they, as they last knew, there was what they signed up for, there's probably a 20x increase in productivity of what they can do now. So it's exciting stuff for them. That I guess is for the older people. I mean, for me, I'm keen on trying to go into as much detail about what it is that's new and what people can utilize right now. Obviously, there is significant components to the agency and spend crypto. There's obviously just an elevation of Insta Crypto and assets.io, and how the brokers can take advantage of that. I'm more Alan, I don't know which one of those things you want me to tackle right now. I have updates on all of them, but it just depends on
I like some of the updates.
the temper.
For the most part, I think everybody would like the updates, the benefits. Richard did ask a question at the beginning. He said something, I have to go back and look it up. But let's see here, he wrote it in here somewhere. I thought he wrote it in here, maybe he didn't. I might be speaking out of turn. Maybe
You want me to just say it?
Yeah, you could cheat and do that, yeah.
Okay. On the instant crypto, after the new update today or either yesterday, the credit card send is no longer on the front part of it. Is that a glitch or have we discontinued?
Oh, yeah, no. Oh, wow. Yeah, wow. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's me again.
Yeah, it's Richard. How are you? I was like, I'm like doing something, and you caught me off guard because I'm like, wait a minute, who's that on top of it? And I'm like, oh, there's only one person. There's only that can only be one. Okay, well, that sets me up really well. Thanks for the alley-oop. I guess I will go into my
Your court.
Yeah, no, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Just give me 1 sec. I will share my screen now that I can do that. Malls manager right here, 4-1.
While you're thinking about it, I'll answer a question for AJ. He's saying when he goes into assets.io, how do my details go from previous platform to get transferred over in full? And I believe it's all connected. So when you're in, once you're in, doesn't matter which one of the platforms you go to.
Yeah, I mean, if he's asking a question about the synchronicity of the login, yes, you're correct, Alan. That's the correct answer. If you have one account, like one GX account, you can log into everything, and you're the same use the same username and password that you would be using on whatever he signed up with. So. Let me share my screen and answer Richard's question in a more elaborate fashion, because he's, for those of you that don't know what he's talking about, he's basically saying that there was a spend button or a part of the menu, which was spend crypto, which was what I have been teasing for the last, I don't know, feels like 4 weeks, which is our solution to being able to propagate the spending of your crypto, converting it into something that you can use in a MasterCard. That page, that it used to be a page inside of Instacrypto that some of the people on this call have already gone through, have already applied for a card, are now waiting for it to start opening up. But that's no longer there. That page is no longer there. So Richard was asking, what's the deal with that? Or is that no longer available inside of Instacrypto? And so the question that he's asking is setting up a larger kind of disposition on what it is what have been the changes in spend crypto. So I did have the intention of last week doing as detailed an explanation of the agency as possible, which not last week, sorry, 2 weeks ago, which I did. Obviously that still only scratches the surface, and the ground that we've made on the agency, and again, the amount of just demand that we're having for it is pretty humbling. So there's not enough to say about it, but I also did say that I would give an equivalent level of explanation about spend crypto, because that's something that nobody has heard about and we haven't talked about in a public forum yet. And I wanted to make the first forum that we speak about it, obviously, on this call. And so Richard's question will set me up. So I will go into basically introducing spend crypto to the world right now, if you have nothing else to talk to me about, Alan.
No, that's a good one, I think.
I think that's a great one, right? Okay, cool. Let me share my screen. I still haven't done that. Am I shared? Can you see my phone?
Yeah.
Great, lovely. So, sorry, what were you saying?
It's not an iPhone, is it?
No, this is actually this time an Android. I'm Androiding it.
What I don't understand, why wouldn't you get like the good one?
I have two. If you want to see how much of a no, if you want to see how much of a lunatic I am, I have 2 iPhones, 3 Androids. Every place in this thing is like another phone, and most of the time I just mess up what I pick up, and it's kind of like I go with whatever I have in my hand at the time.
I was just
no,
kidding.
I know you are. I know I'm playing around. By the way, I hate developing for iPhone. It's just a brutal experience, but it's an incredible. Once it's done, it's a beautiful app. Okay, can everybody see my broker app?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, great. So I'm just going to go into 2 updates inside of the broker app that also go a long way in setting up Richard's question, and the answer to Richard's question is something I know Kino's been longing for, and a lot of people have been longing for, because Shorupan, when are you going to actually release Spend Crypto, and what is going on with that? What is it actually? And so, but before that, I wanted to actually talk a little bit about this update. So the first page being like the left, I'm in right now, I'm in the Earn page, okay? So in Earn, there are 4 tabs. There's Network. There's obviously a slew of things we could talk about there. I'm not going to talk about it right now. There's Brands, or kind of like search, and you could go through all of the different brands that are available. Then you have Share, which is our funnel system, and then you have your Affiliate Bank, which is your commissions and your transactions and everything like that, your earnings. Okay, well, the one page that I've never talked about and is the most important page is the middle one, and I don't know why nobody's ever asked about it. I'm sure you guys have clicked on it. This B button right here, right, which is like a huge B button that's staring you in the eye. And what that page is it's called, well, I've done some of the branding recently, which is called Influence. It's actually called Influence X, like Influence Exchange, like Global Exchange. And basically what Influence is the feature inside of the BrokerApp that actually lets you monetize your network. So I guess the best way to think about it is it's an easy way to think about it. The first tab is your network, unabridged. We're not telling you how much money you made off of it. We're giving you an approximate network valuation, but that's not a literal network valuation. It's just showing you your entire network, whether those people made a transaction, never made a transaction, everybody. And then the last page is the most distilled version, which is your literal earnings, right? So you go from the most abstract, which is everybody in your network, and the fourth page on the right-hand side right here is your earnings, which is the most distilled version.
I just want to clarify something. When you say it includes all the people, are you saying that depending on how much business that person does, the kind of value that would be worth if you were selling off your network?
Yeah, well, there's a very specific equation. I mean, yeah, this at the top here, I only have 2 levels, but I could log in with the person that has more levels, and I could actually, I mean, I'm not gonna call anybody out now, but I could log in with a bunch of people's account, and they'd have like, I logged into a person's account for the first time yesterday, one of my old brokers, and it was like level, I think 81. They're DD level 81 I scrolled to, and with people on every level. So yeah, this is obviously a very unimpressive one. Each of these levels contain contacts, and the valuation is just an approximation of what your network would be worth. Alan is correct. I guess it's an attempt to evaluate if you were to sell your brokerage, but it's also, the equation is very similar to if you were to value like public market equities, like it's a multiple of earnings. So if your earnings off of your off this network is, let's say, $1,000, this would be a multiple of that, because basically what it's saying to the world is my network is capable of generating $1,000 a year or something like that. And if I kept my network without even growing it for the next 10 years, I'm going to generate 10,000. So that I'm going to soon release the equation, and people will be able to use it as a fair market establishment, but that's really what that does evaluate. Of course, that's not very accurate in the same way that, you know, P ratios are not accurate, because just because Amazon made $1 billion this year doesn't mean that they're going to make it next year. They might make 10 times as much, and that would be hopefully the same notion with the people on this call. So you can increase your network valuation by doing 2 things: adding people to your network or making them spend more. One of the 2. Right, that both of them will increase your network valuation. But nonetheless, on the right-hand side, when you go to this last page, is the actual earnings. So this is the people from your network that have done something, purchased something, and that's manifested here. Okay, so the middle page, called Influence, is your control panel. This is essentially where you get to interact. Because remember, the second page is where you get to find the brands, right? You're like finding brands, you find Global Exchange. Really, right now it's only Global Exchange. The middle one is where you get to interact with the brands, configure and set them up so that you can monetize them. So I'm going to go over this first part after. At the bottom, there's 3 buttons: Standard, Prime, and Brands. So Standard is what everybody that downloads the BrokerApp gets. So every single person that downloads the BrokerApp, whether you pay or not, the moment you log in, you have access to all the brands that are standard. And there's only one, which is the BrokerApp itself is default given to everybody. for free. If you're a Prime member, you can click Prime, it'll check your Prime availability, and then it will list inside of there all the brands you get access to. So this is kind of what Alan has been harping on, which is that the Prime members will have access to ever more and more and more and more opportunities to make money, and this manifests that. So the brands that are already included in Prime are Instacrypto, which is kind of the OTC commissions and everything like that, Assets.io, interest rates, agency, enterprise solutions, and fourth right now, Spend Crypto. So all four of those are included in Prime. If you're a Prime member, you'll be able to access that tab. If you're not, you will not. It'll say go become a Prime member. And then the last one is brands. I can't currently click on it. So brands would be every brand in the future that's not a part of Prime. It's just all the third-party brands that you might choose to broker for. They're really non-global exchange brands. As those brands onboard, you'll be able to find them in the third column. So this kind of elucidates for you, what is the breakup and how you interact with your brands. Once you're in the Prime page or whatever page, right now, 2 of the brands have set up their kind of influence settings. The first one is Instacrypto. And so when you click on one of the brands, here you get to set up and learn about, once you follow them, once you have a license, you get to learn about the entire structure, how you get to monetize. So when you click Instacrypto, it kind of breaks down how you make money off of it. There's an about column and earnings tab, settings, comp plan. So comp plan is not done yet, but it will be done before the end of today. I was actually working on it, but earnings and settings are there. If you go to settings, you can adjust your fees. So when you click settings, you click fees, you can see your current fees, and you can see all of your, if you want to change your fees, you can update your fees, and that's on your OTC transactions. The second one that's now done, and I guess this would be of immense interest to anybody that knows about Assets.io, is you can now set your fees inside of Assets.io as a broker who has a Prime license. What do I mean by that? Well, let me explain and let me show you. If I go back to my Prime kind of dashboard here, and I click Assets.io, so in Assets.io, as a brand, I get to go to settings, fees, and I get to see, again, the same thing, current fees or update fees. I'll go to current, and it's asking me, Shorupan, do you want to see your fees in Assets.io for liquid earnings or bonds? So what does that mean? So as a Prime member, I get to be able to change the amount of fees that I'm collecting off of all of my customers' interest payments. So there's a deduction of interest that's paid when an interest payment is paid out in Assets.io. There's a deduction made at the point of payment. So say you were going to make $10 as the end user, whatever percentage is deducted. Who sets that percentage? The broker. Actually, to be specific, the Prime broker. And that's what you're doing here. So you can click liquid earnings, and it's showing you, for example, right now, for me, this is all of my fees for every single asset. So, and this is for direct. So all of my direct customers, when they're making interest payments or they're getting interest payments liquid, this is the fees that are deducted and passed into the brokerage system for me to make commissions on. And I can make that whatever I want. And if I wanted to be really like a clown, I could make it 100%. And that would essentially eradicate the ability for me to get customers, but I could. That's how much power the BrokerApp gives to the Prime members. I'll give you an example of how you would do that. Say you went and clicked Bitcoin. So right now, my fee on Bitcoin is 20%. What does that mean? That means that if I sign up a customer directly and he is supposed to earn $2 today for liquid interest, meaning he's holding Bitcoin of some value and the liquid interest is $2, that 20% of that $2 will be deducted. So he's getting 80% of that, and 20% is going into the broker chain. And I'm obviously the first level, I'm gonna get paid off of that. So that's really what that means. I can change that to whatever I feel like. So say I click that to if I click it, if I go to update fees, and click liquid earnings, bond earnings, there, and click Bitcoin, you can see that I can, breaks down all of the fees that I've had on liquid or bonds, and I can actually click change fee. I'm not going to do it right now because I don't want to, and I can change that from say 20%, or in the case of bonds, 5%, which is what I've set, to something else. And of course, just like in the OTC, where I get to control my fees. This is controlling now your fees on every single interest payment made by every single customer in every single app, because you do get liquid interest payments in every single app. That is kind of two iterations now of two different brands that prime brokers get access to. One is probably more well-known in the fact that the InstaCrypto OTC stuff, and then now assets.io, the brokers have the ability to control all the rates, or at least control the fees deducted from the rates. And the other two brands that are included in Prime, which are agency and spend crypto, their influence dashboard will be is what I'm working on right now, and will be updated in the next couple of days, giving you this ability to do similar types of things, configure and set up your monetization structures for those particular brands. And that's the same fashion in which, if you are to one day follow a third-party brand that has nothing to do with us, they will also appear here, and you can interact with them and change the fees or whatever their structure is, work within their comp plan, and yeah, that is the middle of the influence page. The reason I said that was a setup to Richard's question is because, as a broker, the fourth brand that's added to Prime is Spend Crypto, because you do monetize off of that. And before I go into Spend Crypto as a standalone kind of offering, I wanted to announce at least that the brokers have this influence page whereby they can interact with every Prime brand or not Prime brand and take full advantage of that. And right now, the two that have the configuration ability set up is InstaCrypto and assets.io. So Spend Crypto and agency will be having their dashboard set up sometime this week. Let's go into Spend Crypto, unless there's any immediate questions on that. And I'm sure there is, because there was a lot of information I just spit out, but I think that it also provides us a level of clarity to, when you buy a license, what you're actually getting. When you're buying a license, you're getting access to that brand in the influence page, so you can actually monetize off of it. Let's go to Spend Crypto. This is Google. So I don't have Spend Crypto on my phone right now, but I will. If you can still see my screen, you can see the website, spendcrypto.com. So I'm not going to go into my rant on why I think that offering that this has never been a successful business model for any person, with the exception of maybe I can name one or two companies that have done okay over a long period of time by offering offboarding vehicles in the form of prepaid Master or Visa cards. There could be a whole webinar on that. There will be a whole webinar on understanding Spend Crypto as a business model. Today, I'm not going to go into the backstory. I'm just going to go into presenting it. The first iteration of Spend Crypto was going to be something whereby you can access it inside of InstaCrypto. That's why you guys have probably accessed it inside of InstaCrypto. It's evolved considerably, and if you go to the Spend Crypto website right now, you could download the Spend Crypto app. So the reason it's been taken out of InstaCrypto is because there's actually a native Spend Crypto app that we've built and now released that will allow you to interact with Spend Crypto. Of course, it's all still log in with the same credentials you log into BrokerApp with. It's connected to all the same stuff, but there's a special reason why there's a Spend Crypto app, apart from the fact that obviously there's tremendous upside to having that to be the case. I'm actually downloading the latest version, so I'll show you guys. So I'm on spendcrypto.com on my phone now. You can see it on my phone, and it's quite nice. Earn it, convert it, spend it, and at the bottom it says download app. This is on the web side of my web browser inside of my phone. So this is how a person would access it. They would click download app. It would ask them what device they're using. I'm using Android, so I click Android, and then it's going to say, do you want to download it directly onto this phone? I'm going to say yes. They're going to say, do you want to copy the download link, or do you just want us to take you to the download link? I'm going to say, just take me to the download link. And so then it takes me to the download link for Spend Crypto, and then I download it. And so this is, I guess, breaking news that there is a Spend Crypto complete finished app that I'm about to show, which is the third mobile app right after InstaCrypto and BrokerApp, and now Spend Crypto, which is a very interesting, I think maybe the one that will have a lot of mainstream success for obvious reasons. But there's an especially interesting reason why I separated itself. So I'm opening it now. So there you can see Spend Crypto. It's also on my phone right there, Spend Crypto. So there you go. The biggest app lineup in the world: InstaCrypto, BrokerApp, Spend Crypto. Can't get better than that. So open up Spend Crypto. Now I'm in the app. Before you log in, it looks like the website. It's just showing you earn it, convert it, spend it. That's the mantra of Spend Crypto. And at the bottom, you're going to see Get Started. It's going to ask you to log in. Does that login page look similar? I think it should. It looks, because you're logging in exactly like you log into InstaCrypto or BrokerApp. So I'm logging in with my credentials. Okay, so here's the really interesting part. I don't know, Alan, are you paying attention?
Yeah, just looking for another contender, but yes,
Okay, a contender?
another invitee.
Okay, so as soon as I log in, so everybody that was on the last call will understand why this is so important. If you're not on the last call and you don't understand the business model of the agency, you might not get why this is so important, what I'm about to show you. As soon as I log in, it's not letting me go into the Spend Crypto ask. It's asking me which wallet provider I want to connect to. And every single GX app that I'm registered for, shorupan@gmail.com registered for, will appear here. Obviously, I'm registered for all of them, so I have a longer list than you'll have. But if you're only registered for BrokerApp and InstaCrypto, both of them will come there. In other words, the Spend Crypto app fundamentally just allows you to connect your wallet, whatever wallet it may so be. Right now, it's obviously people that have connected, their wallet, third-party wallets to the vault, which is a process I'll talk about later. You can connect that, and your Spend Crypto is functionally acting like any wallet in the world can connect to it, and it will allow you to spend money from there. So I'll go into an example. I'll type in BrokerApp. So BrokerApp, right? Click it. So now it's taking me inside of BrokerApp. So there you can see Spend Crypto instantly, powered by BrokerApp. So now I'm inside the app. I'm inside the app connected to BrokerApp, and I could create cards and spend directly from the vaults inside my BrokerApp. I'll give you another example. So I'll log back out and I'll log in with InstaCrypto, meaning when I log in, I'll select InstaCrypto. So, and the reason for that is because I already have cards with InstaCrypto. But the reason I said people that were on the last call will appreciate that is because every single agency now has the ability to issue cards, and their clients can download the Spend Crypto app and simply connect to their agency's wallet and spend the crypto that they have in that client's wallet, in that app's wallet. And any third-party app can also become a Spend Crypto integrated wallet and do the same thing. And so you essentially have no limitation on where your crypto is. You will be able to spend it. Now, obviously, I'm speaking very idealistically, and a lot of things have to go right. The GX apps, I can assure you, and obviously all the agencies, as that starts to proliferate, are all creating GX apps. So whether we're talking about DGP, or whether we're talking about Atlas, whatever all the agencies we're talking about, they don't know this yet, but they all have their own Spend Crypto app, and their clients can issue cards and get cards and spend the money, convert money. So obviously additional revenue options for the broker and the agency, all now done in one singular app. And the user is thrilled because the user's doing nothing. It's almost like the user going into Spend Dollars app and just saying, okay, I want to connect to my BMO account or my Barclays account or my TD account so I can give me my credit card information so I could spend it. So imagine I have a singular app where you can spend money from all your bank accounts. That would be the equivalent, and because it consolidates it into one card, right? That's the fiat equivalent of this. This is a singular app where you can theoretically connect every wallet you have and choose which one you want to spend money from. Yeah, it's pretty nuts though. A day in the life, I guess. One second, I'll show you Insta Crypto. I'm now the reason see when I logged into the broker app, when I connected via broker app, it said get started because I've not issued a card. I've not applied for a card yet. As a user, I've not used this connected to my broker app, but I have used it in conjunction with my Insta Crypto. And so I'm going to show you what it looks like once the user is already kind of connected his wallet and everything like that. That's what it looks like. So here you can already see that I have cards with Insta Crypto. I have 3 cards, I think. Yeah, I have a groceries card, which is right here. I have a card which I didn't get. I have an account which I didn't get approved for, and I have a big up card, and these are just nicknames I give to them. And so what you can see. So let me give you the breakdown now. Okay, I want to put money onto this card. So as you can see, it says the vault balance. So inside of spend crypto, it's a spending vault. That's the idea. So I want to put money into this card, right? I've already been approved. So you got to first apply and get approved. But nonetheless, I want to put money on it. All I have to do is click this button or say add new card. Or have I already funded this account? That's why. There. So I can click fund spending vault. So I'm going to click fund spending vault, and it's going to give me a little disclaimer. Hey, you're about to fund your spending vault, which may or may not be attached to spend crypto digital card, depending on your approval status, blah, 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 blah. Good. Approve. So now it's saying, which of your apps, Shorupan, do you want to take the money from? Obviously, I use Insta Crypto. It's pulling up all of my Insta Crypto balances. I'll just go with USD. So I have $16 in my Insta Crypto balance, as you saw. I'll pick $15 out of that and put it into my Shorupan Grocery Spend Crypto Vault. Done. So now I only have $1 left in that account in my Insta Crypto account, in my normal USD vault, and I have more money here, which I just need to refresh for. Close that, go back down. So what you can see now is there's a processing balance. So when you do a funding, like I think we talked about this on one call, once you do a funding from say Insta Crypto or BrokerApp or hopefully one day Coinbase or whatever it is, it goes into processing, and then the merchant bank approves it, and then it becomes available balance for you to be able to spend. And as soon as it's available balance, all you have to do is click on this card, and you have all I already have my card information. So that's my card information. I go punch it in on Amazon or whatever it is, and I'm off to the races. And in that same fashion, I could fund this spend account. I could fund this card from any app I wanted to, and I could add a new card, obviously. It's really limitless. And this is inside of my spend crypto account that's connected to Insta Crypto. I could very similarly, I guess, shout out, I don't know if these guys are on the call. If they're not, I guess I'm going to give them a pretty big alley-oop right now.
Question.
I'll show you. Yeah.
A question, just quick and easy. I mean, it's a virtual credit card, and you can have multiples. Is there any limit to the number of virtual credit cards you can have?
You got to pay for them, right? So the limit is, there's no limit, but
okay,
you got to pay for each one.
What's the cost for a virtual credit card?
It's $30 right now. I think 30 something, $31.
$30. Does that include a regular credit card when you get them produced?
So not including shipping.
It includes a regular credit card once they're produced.
Just not shipping.
Not shipping.
Yeah.
All right, and then you could set or have virtual credit cards if you wanted to do it sort of like an accounting system. You could have.
Yeah, if you want more than one card, yeah. I mean, there will be reasons right now. Like I'm not going to try not to revealing too much information from the vendor side, but there's obviously different types of cards. Right now, there's only there's just one kind of monolithic card, but we are releasing, travel cards and stuff like that. So there will be a reason to have more than one, but right now I wouldn't recommend it, but
if I want to load
let me say something, let me show something. So I just saw a person on the call that I was hoping on the, someone was saying, can you make a deposit into what? I don't know what the question was, but anyway.
Can you make a deposit too? It doesn't say.
Yeah, to what?
To the
That's the
card.
word.
Maybe to the card, I guess.
No, I just did, but it goes into pending. Like it gets deducted from my vault and it goes, as you can see your processing transactions. Like it goes into pending until the bank will credit it.
This is the DG page.
Yeah, no, I know who it is. I was about to actually use you guys as the reference. So watch this. I'll show you why I'm saying that. So DGP is an agency. They have their own set of applications with us, their own wallet, their incredible kind of enterprise. So now every DGP customer can download Spend Crypto, log in with their DGP account, and type in DG payments and go ahead, just like I'm already a member of DGP, that's why it appeared there. So now, okay, so Spend Crypto. So I don't have any cards with them yet. So I'm gonna add one. And what do you know there? The virtual cards are branded for each single brand. And as an agency and as a brand, you have a dashboard where you can actually go and set your fees so you can monetize, set your branding, issue different cards. This is a trifecta of a system. The reason I wanted to take a little bit longer, I could have just released the card as a global exchange solution. But I mean, that's so unlike me. What I've made it is that every single agency will have their own branded cards, and every user who's any type of these apps can manage the crypto that they have in any one of their whatever apps they registered for. And then there's a login and interface for the bank. There's a login and interface for the vendor, which is the agency. And then of course the users use the app. And it seamlessly connects to all of this. So every transaction, as you can see, this one is already branded. I'll go all the way. Watch this. I'm on the Spend Crypto page. So I can now from here click wallets and Spend Crypto integrates leading cryptocurrency wallets, blah, 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 blah. On the right-hand side, these pictures, I just refreshed them. So some of the pictures are not showing, but all of the apps are there. Watch, so if I type in DGP, oh my God, look who it is. I knew I think they were gonna be on this call, so I had I think. I don't know if that's $100 or $100,000. I think it's $100 if there's more than $100. So the technicalities, yeah, I mean, is the question that if you're making a transaction in Canada is more than $100, we need an actual card. This card can't be used in person. None of these cards can be used in person. They're used for online purchases or bills. So virtual cards, which obviously we didn't invent, although that would have been cool if we did, are used for everything but physical chip and pin purchases. So yeah, it's not even, you couldn't even do it for $1. You can't use this card to walk into a 7-Eleven and buy chips. Let me put it like that. But I've tried it. You can use it on Amazon for a lot of money, far more than $100. Or you can use it to pay your Rogers bill, or you can use it to pay, whatever anything on your phone, anything online. It's basically everything online. And if you want to be really kind of sneaky, and I don't quote me on this because I actually don't. You have to test some of this. I need to test some of this stuff up. To some degree, you can process a cash advance, but you had to do that with an entity that lets you do that with virtual cards. And there are some in Canada. You'll go into more detail about that later. But this right now is it's the issuance of virtual cards. And then, like Alan said, obviously, I have the ability to do physical ones right now. It's just shipping is such a mess. But I'll give you an example. When you get approved for a virtual card, there is a physical card with the bank. That it's not like they're just making no. They have to have physical cards because they have to have BIN numbers. So your first 4 digits of those cards are physical and they're sitting just with the bank. So shipping them to you, they wouldn't also be branded with the brand with the company. The fact that we virtualize the entire element gives each agency the ability to brand the cards and create loyalty programs and all of that. So if I click DGP here, it's actually already taking me and showing me all of the cards, the designs that they have. And the only reason there's already designs for them is because I went into their vendor dashboard and I made them. And I could spend with DGP. And if I want to spend with DGP, it's going to tell me to download the InstaCrypto app and just log in with DGP. Yeah, NFC payments is probably more tenable in the short term because you could do it from your phone. However, if you're say for something like Apple Pay, there is still an element of the bank that we use that's going to have to essentially integrate directly with Apple Pay before we can. So the virtualization of the card allows us to evade, in a positive term, it's all, evade the requirement for the user having to have the physical card. NFC is an abstraction of a physical card. You can't set up NFC for a card you don't have. So you first need to get the card from your bank, and then you can set up Apple Pay, and then you can use Apple Pay on your phone without having the card. But you have the card in your possession, albeit at home. When you're using Spend Crypto, you don't have the card with you. You don't have it at all. So it's a completely virtualized experience. And like I said, right, if the demand for this is high, which I can only presume it is, which is why I'm kind of hesitant about it. Of course, yeah, we have the physical cards are there, man. Yeah. The more insane part about all of this is the simple fact of this. I mean, I'll put it like this. Again, I say proceed with caution. I'm still treading and I'm building a lot of this infrastructure for the banks because I'm building their software as well, obviously for the vendors, because I don't want the variables that I know exist to step in. What I do know now is that the system that we have, so the biggest issue, Coinbase issued their own card only in the United Kingdom. Why? Is a company of that stature not capable of doing it in the United States? That's because the issuing bank said, yeah, right. Coinbase probably wanted to do it with like a very high rate, standard, really prominent issuing bank, and probably wasn't ready. You can obviously get your cards issued by some nonsense bank. You'll find someone to do it. It's just not gonna be efficient. And the biggest problem, is say I spend 6 months as a company, as a brand, as a wallet, as an exchange, whatever you want to call me, right? To go integrate with, I don't know, First Bank of the US, which does card issuance. Later on, after I do all my KYB, after I spend close to $150,000, you don't need to always spend that much money. There are some consulting firms that'll do it for less, but you're spending money. After you order all the cards and they're sitting in your garage usually, after all of this is said, KYC is insane. You guys have no clue how much KYB and KYC is required for some companies to do what I just showed you I could do in seconds. Anyway, after all of that's said and done, First Bank will just First Bank of the US can wake up one day because they got a complaint from Visa or MasterCard and say, yeah, we're no longer interested in this. We're terminating our agreements. We'll refund if you've made a deposit, but that's about as good as it gets. Meanwhile, you as the brand have taken this to your customers as your fundamental value proposition, and it's all a shit show. Happened to Coinbase, it'll happen to everybody. To prevent that, it's not a complete remedy, but it's a interesting one. I wanted to create Spend Crypto not as the issuance platform, but as a network, as a system whereby any vendor, when I say vendor, I'm talking about app or wallet that wants to connect to Spend Crypto. Okay, so that could be an agency, that could be a third-party wallet, but also any issuing bank can also use Spend Crypto. So that say I'm some random bank in the United States or Canada, whatever country, I no longer have to go and manually interact with these companies and startups that I really don't want to interact with, which they don't. I can simply list my issuance standards on Spend Crypto. And as the vendor, when you go in the future, not right now, because right now we only have one bank, but in the future, you'll be able to select the bank that you want to work with. In essence, the entire industry of card issuance is built off of this kind of triage, right? And because it's so complex, I'm just scratching the surface. I'm using very layman's terms. I know Alan's probably thinks this is advanced. I'm using the laymanest terms I can. This is so complex of an industry and so much convolution, corruption in some capacity, that the only way it works is by consultants that emerge and say, hey, we'll just take care of everything. But that in of itself is a very kind of black box. My goal is to make Spend Crypto the platform where any bank can work with any brand and there's an end application that the brand doesn't have to waste money building, and the bank doesn't have to waste money with kind of building out its compliance regimen. They just upload their compliance docs, and this all works in unison. I will show you what I mean by that. So
back to my question, which is just confirmation, but basically I got my card. I'm looking on how I want to fund it. I'm going through crypto. I've got some fiat. I got a couple different fiats. I got a couple different. If I fund it with Bitcoin, I am funding it, and now let's say $100.
You're converting it to dollars. You're converting it to dollars.
Also, all of them, even if I had a euro, it would all go.
All vault balances inside of Spend Crypto are only in USD.
Right. So you're converting, let's say you're taking your Bitcoin at the process of going into your card, it's just automatically converting at the current rate.
It's actually even a little bit one step before that. So like that was the process that I was showing, right? When you go to fund your spending vault, it's asking you, where do you want to fund it from? I selected InstaCrypto, and then it showed me all of my InstaCrypto balances. I just selected USD as my from balance. If I had selected Bitcoin, it would have done a trade, and it would have put the USD in my Spend Crypto account, which, by the way, is another place for brokers to make another trade commission. Every funding, every transaction is a commission, right? So, okay, high level stuff right now. I'm still talking. So you see the website. On the right hand side, you saw wallets. On the left hand side, you see partners. Okay, so you click partners. By the way, the website is not meant for end users. The end user is just supposed to download the app and start using the app. I'm showing you the websites to give you the idea of how this monetizes and sets up, really, in my opinion, an unpenetrable kind of way of doing this. This is a very hard business, my least favorite one, but I think we've built something that is hyper unique. Okay, so when you click partners, as you can see on the right-hand side, I've already built dashboards. There's going to be 3 different dashboards, 3 different apps, web. There's going to be 3 different logins for the web. The end user who's trying to spend his crypto just uses the mobile app, just to be clear on that, okay? He doesn't do anything else. This is for the partners. So there's an app owner. So if you're an app owner, you click that and you log into the management dashboard as an app owner. There's the issuing bank. So the banks that want to issue cards, work with kind of high risk or crypto fintech companies, they get to go and log in to their dashboard, which I've already done. And soon there'll be a payment processing dashboard for payment processors across the world that want to participate. So say I'm an app owner, right? So I click app owner, log in. I'll use Shorupan because I have admin access. I have access to obviously all the apps most normal people wouldn't. In this case, I'll just use InstaCrypto, okay? So right now I've logged in to, as an app owner, to the InstaCrypto dashboard because I'm the owner of InstaCrypto. That's what this is showing me. I get to see all the issuance that's going on with the bank and my customers. I can see the funding. I can see my earnings. I'm all happy and giddy, right? But what I'm going to show you is I'm going to go to card machine. So when I click card machine, I get to create the designs for my cards and I get to create the brands for my cards. So I click edit. I'll click card color first. InstaCrypto's card color is 186AB4. Yep, there we go. Click next. And bang, the card color is changed. If you log into, if you download Spend Crypto right now and click InstaCrypto, it'll already have updated that for one of the cards. So the next thing, if you don't update your logo for the card, your design for the card, it's just going to show the Spend Crypto. But I want to update my design because I'm, the owner of InstaCrypto and I want to promote InstaCrypto to all my customers, I guess. And so I'm going to show you that. Copy, just downloading the logo actually onto my computer. Kind of small still there. So export, PNG, desktop, save. So now I'm going to go to, I'll go back to card machine. Perfect. Edit. Card logo, upload, desktop. That's the InstaCrypto logo. It's white, so you can't see it, but when you click next and it's updating, perfect, updated. I just issued my first branded card. I think it's already saved. Yeah, so now watch this. I don't know if that's the first one. I probably should do it for all of them because there are obviously still some that are not. I'm just going to turn all of them. I'm now going to log in as a user into InstaCrypto's account. Okay, Insta. And bang. What do you see there? My brand has been updated. And as you, if the first time I logged in, it didn't. It was still spend crypto. And the one card that I don't have is the one that's issued pink. That's funny. Think about that. For anybody that is the semblance of the payment card issuance industry, for you to get a branded card, virtual or not virtual, it's I could send you the forms I was given by not 1, 2, 3, 10. I've been solicited by every payment issuance you can imagine for Global Exchange. Someone could launch their own app with Global Exchange, with their own wallet system, with their own brand, and have their customers using their branded virtual cards within a day. As a broker, now let me tie it all back together. As a broker, what was the fourth brand that was included into your Prime membership? Spend Crypto. What was the third brand that was included into your Prime membership? Agency. The economic opportunities, because I know we're excited about InstaCrypto and Assets.io, and now that you could set your own fees on the interest rates, it's all crazy. The economic opportunity for the two brands that I just talked about, Spend Crypto and Agency, which are kind of hand in hand, is mind-boggling. Until you really try to do something in the payments industry and you realize how fallible it is, you won't have any clue. But this is borderline magic, which is why I'm very cautious still and not, being overly confident. We've given whoever's on the last call. So I showed you how to create your own agency, set up your shareholders, set up your company, get the white label set up. In 5 minutes, you can release your app, as powerful as anything else. And on this call, I've just connected it to the ability for your clients to be able to spend the crypto that's in your wallets. And whether it's on the transactions for the funding of the card, which is a trade, whether it's on the card issuance fees, whether it's on the agency deposit fees, whether it's on however you want to slice and dice it, the brokers who are Prime monetize on all of it. It's untenable. You wouldn't be able to imagine in the concept of like, I really need to get out last week's webinar on YouTube, but the reason I didn't is because it was such a stream of consciousness. I wanted to remake those videos, and I haven't found the time of day to do any of that for my crypto brand, the ability to launch. I mean, both Spend Crypto and Agency are things that Global Exchange would have salivated to have when they started. That's basically what my attempt was when creating any of this, was like make it so that this would have, if someone had said at the time of starting Global Exchange, Shorupan, forget about all of the going and trying to do this yourself, just launch your own agency, you'll get all of the features you're trying to build anyway, I would have been like, oh my God. And then had they said, Shorupan, forget about trying to go, set up your own, card issuance or get approved for any of that, just connect your connect your agency directly to Spend Crypto, I would have been like, oh my goodness, who are you? That's obviously from the business owner's perspective, because you can solicit this to business owners left, right, and center. If strangely you have connections to banks or like payment processors, let me know. We have an integration form on the website that we want to work with them through. If you just want people who want to spend crypto, yeah, I mean, you have the best vehicle in the world. Again, beta testing, but nonetheless, I did spend the extra 2 weeks of my life turning Spend Crypto from a platform where it's just Global Exchange cards that were able to be issued because of our relationship with the bank, to now a platform whereby any bank or any app or any person can interact with what prior to Spend Crypto ecosystem was maybe the most opaque and, like I said, convoluted industry in all of finance. And that's saying a lot, because finance in general has a lot of convoluted industries. Mr. Alan Watts, minus the Watts, what says you?
What says me? Well, everything sounds good so far. Impressed. Ian says he's impressed. Richard says, can you spend crypto be attached to block check?
That's an interesting question. Very interesting question. Very interesting question. Richard, I can't answer that, but the answer obviously will be yes, but it's a very interesting question. And the way in which it will is also very interesting. Just stay tuned for that. Just stay tuned for that one part. Because that's a hyper interesting question. Nobody else even understood what you just said, by the way, because it's super, super interesting. It's basically like it's a cashier's check. What he's asking is like a cashier's check. Yes, of course, I'm working on it. My goal, let's set some tenable timelines. My goal, okay, so as of today, every broker can now control interest rates. Prior to today, every broker could control exchange fees. Now, the second greatest domain inside of the cryptocurrency world, which is the interest paid out, is manipulatable and controllable through your broker app as a prime broker. Okay. Very soon, you'll be able to configure the agency costs, the commissions you want to extract from the agency, as well as the simp and crypto. And those are your 4 prime monsters. Block check is included in prime as well. I haven't put that there, but that will be the 5th one. That'll be the fifth and the final pedigree to the prime ecosystem, the prime lineup.
While you're on that subject of interest rates, that is the sole piece that I make the statement for prime broker, the value of prime broker. However, of course,
that's nuts.
However, just that alone is worth prime broker. However, the agency earnings as well is nice. And then there are a couple more. You're now saying there's 5 in total revenue.
There's 5 brands. There's 5 brands that are included into the prime membership. The first one is InstaCrypto. The second one is Assets.io. The third one is agency. The fourth one is Spend Crypto, and the 5th one will be BlockCheck. So any products and services made by those 5 brands will be able to be monetized by a prime license holder, out of which 2 are now monetizable and manipulatable through the broker app already. InstaCrypto, Assets.io just got announced today that you can change the interest rate, fees, and everything yourself. The 3 remaining brands will also be added, and then you control the full gambit of how you want to earn money from the network that you're building.
Is that an agency can change the fees, or are you talking about just a prime broker alone?
Sorry, which can you tell me which part of what I just said you're addressing?
I'm talking about the interest rates. You have the ability to change.
Well, that's not agency, that's Assets.io.
Okay, but
yeah, I'll show you. Well, I mean, because you got up in the middle of that part, you don't get what I mean by that. Watch my phone. So if I click influence, I go to Prime because I'm Prime, and I go to Assets.io, and I go to settings, I go to fees, and I can see my current fees on both liquid interest and bonds. What does that mean? Alan, you specifically, so first time, let me just click bonds, okay? So you can see that this is the interest, this is the fees as a percentage that I'm deducting from all my direct customers. Watch, so let's just use Bitcoin as an example. So my Bitcoin is 5% on bonds as a broker. My liquid interest on Bitcoin, 20%. Okay, so I just want you to, Alan, watch with me here, because me and you have gone through an element of this. When tied together will make perfect sense. So let's go to Assets.io. And who's downline in mine? Some person's downline. I don't know. I need to check. And let me log in. Oh man, my vaults take the longest to load because there's too much data. Let me open up a bond hash for myself for any one of the bonds that I have. All right, go click money markets here. Click this. Okay, so this is in value of a bond, or this is one I just created, I think. Yeah, this one hasn't been paid out yet, but okay. So, and I think I put 0 fees on USDT to find Bitcoin. Index. Assets. There, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, bonds. Here we go. More actions, go to asset hash. Okay, great. So this is a bond that I bought as a user. Shorupan@gmail.com bought this bond, okay? And on the right-hand side, there's something called fees. I already showed this to you, Alan. Here, I could see the broker fees. So the broker fees are, for the bond that I bought, 5%. That 5% I've made before, that 5% was fixed at the company level. So we had just a rule of thumb that said 5% would be deducted from the earnings of a bond and going into the commission structure. And on liquid, it's 20%. What I've now made is for the brokers to be able to change that to whatever they want. That's applied to their directs. Whatever the total amount is what goes into the 16-level comp structure. So the difference now is that on every interest payment, you as the broker who signed up the person can offer reduced fees, increased fees, an amalgamation of things. The fees that are deducted from the interest payment that your user would have gotten, both on liquid and on the bonds, is what goes into the comp structure. And now that's all controllable through your broker app. Make sense?
Default?
20 and 5.
20 and 5. 5
Yeah.
On
Bonds.
5 is on ICE, right?
Yeah, bonds, yeah. 20 is on the liquid. So basically, if I was to earn $1 today as the end user in my liquid, I'm earning 80 cents. Right? It's on the net profit. I mean, this is all on net profit anyway. So, I mean, it's pretty, you're not talking about gargantuan values unless it's a huge customer. In some cases it is. But you can fully manipulate that directly inside of your broker app now. You can even run simulations and earnings forecasts. I'm not going to go into all of that right now because it'll be theory. But my point being is, as of today, assets.io and InstaCrypto, which you've always been able to handle through your broker app, is now in the books. The next two inside of Prime, or next three, would be the agency. I'll put in the control panel for all three of them as well. And that's Prime. And by the way, that same control panel structure is what third-party brands will set up, so that when you go and want to broker something for, I don't know, some other company that wants to list themselves on BrokerApp, you can do that in the same fashion. You can manage your whatever commission structures that they have to offer, etc. But yeah.
Okay. So what do you
And
got?
by the way, one question I think we can't, Richard, right? So as of now, what you basically have is the denominator for, well, InstaCrypto's commissions plans are completely published. I don't know if we haven't gotten out to you yet, but they've been online. Assets.io, what this gives you the ability to do now for the interest rates is set the denominator. So the denominator is controlled. What I mean by the denominator is the total, what I call as total transactional revenue, is the fees of a transaction. So, if you're doing a transactional business, whether an exchange or your bank or something, your revenue is not the money that's coming into your hands. If you opened a coffee store and someone handed you $5 for a coffee, that $5 is revenue. But if you're Bank of America and someone handed you $5, that's actually a $5 liability. Your revenue is the fees you get to deduct from that $5 for whatever services or things that you're providing. It's the same thing with us. So when someone makes a trade, the volume is the first value. It's a $10,000 trade, out of which there are fees that are established. In our system, because of InstaCrypto, all the fees are dynamic, set by the broker. So if the broker wants to set a 5% fee, so now we know that the fees of this $10,000 volume transaction is 5%, $50. So the total revenue for the company is $50, out of which that goes into the comp plan. And so same thing with assets.io. There's volume, which is the total assets under management. If your customer put in $1,000 in their Bitcoin vault, just liquid, or into a Bitcoin bond, so that's volume. That's not revenue for anybody. The fees you charge is the revenue for the company, which now you get to control. And that is what goes into the commission structure, of which you get to earn a percentage, which is your commission. And so the only thing that we haven't released for these two is the way that comp plan breaks down. Me and Alan just have to make a pretty little PDF for that, for assets.io. InstaCrypto has been done. But now the most important thing is that the ability to manipulate the fees are in the hands of the brokers, prime brokers to be specific, and the commission structure will pay out. Basically, that's what governs how do you take the total $50 from that $10,000 transaction and break it up amongst all the levels. You will actually be able to see that inside of the comp plan page of the assets.io control panel. Not right now, but you will be able to see it. a very nice little interface. I did want to say one more thing though, and so what does it mean that everybody gets a BrokerApp default standard for free? Like when they sign up for BrokerApp, even if they're not Prime or they haven't subscribed to a third-party brand, what does it mean that they have this one standard plan called the BrokerApp plan? So apart from actually being able to use the software to build your network, there's a default feature built into BrokerApp that everybody gets access to. You don't have to buy a license for it. It's not associated with any brand. It's not associated with any of our brands or third-party brand. It's actually a tool for any user to be able to regulate custom transactions. So let me repeat this. So this is a problem I've wanted to solve like what feels like my whole life. Don't know if it's been that long, but it feels like that. I'll give you an example. So Alan walks down the street and finds a car that he thinks he can flip or something like that. He just finds a business opportunity. Calls me, he's like, Shorupan, we got to do this thing, blah, 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 blah. I said, I don't know, man. What is it? What do you need me to do? What do you need to do? Okay, fine, we come to terms. He does this part, I do this part. How many times a day do you think this happens in the real world? Many times. Could be for chickens, could be for cars, could be for financial products, could be for real estate, could be for anything, obviously. What I'm referring to is a non-top level down transaction, a transaction that happens at the user level between two people off chain, off the BrokerApp. It just happens in the real world. As a BrokerApp member, as a fundamental feature of the BrokerApp, you can come to your influence page and you can add a custom deal at the top here. And if you click new deal, it's going to give you the ability to enter a deal you're working on that has nothing to do with brands or what comp plans that our brands are offering. Custom random deal. We have no control. We have no knowledge of this deal, let alone control over it. So the question is what type of deal is it? I'll say it's a one-timer. Who worked on this deal? A group of people, one person, or just me? That's a group of people. What industry would this what classified would this under? So say just thing, and then financial services. Okay. So here, those 4 questions right there are static right now. This will be dynamic. Okay, say enter the name of the deal. So I put a default sale of BMW 6 Series. I could call this big Bitcoin transaction, whatever that means, right? So I'm working on a big, huge Bitcoin transaction, and I can even upload a icon for the deal. Let me see if I have any like images that are. I should have this BrokerApp email. I mean BrokerApp image. That's why. Give me one sec. Upload images. Yeah, perfect. So I get to upload a thumbnail. I'll just use the banker logo. So I've added a name, big Bitcoin transaction, and a thumbnail. Click next. Describe the deal. So a person from Peru bought $70 million worth of Bitcoin from Shorupan, Joe, and Thomas. I'm just making up something. And then this is the interesting part. I put in the total transactional value. In this case, $1,000, we'll say, just to keep it simple. What percentage of it should be paid out in commissions? Say 5. And what type of commission, which one of the comp plans that is already published on BrokerApp does it want to choose? Right now, it's letting you choose between token broker and OTC broker. I'm just going to go with token broker for now. And then which vault am I being debited the commissions from as the person that's making the deal? I will pick, I hope I have USD, because I think the deal was in USD. I don't have Jackson. Okay, perfect. So there we go. Here we go. Big Bitcoin transaction, just you, the date, the value of the transaction, the commissions, and post to broker chain. And as soon as I post it to broker chain, if it succeeds, not enough balance, proper. Let me go back and click a smaller percentage 0.01, or maybe the cross currency transaction was the issue. Token broker, Bitcoin is fine. Maybe I need to have USD. Yeah, I need to have USD because the deal's in USD and I don't have USD. Anyway, as soon as I post it, it's done. I've tested it. What that does is it uploads that as a transaction inside of the comp structure that you chose out of the two, and you can make your own comp structure and whatever it so may be, and it pays out everybody in your uplines or whoever you wanted. In other words, every single offline deal can, and then that person who you included in that can see it inside of their affiliate bank. They can see everything. That's why it's saying sharp and you don't have enough balance, because I said the deal was in USD, which means it's going to deduct the commissions payable from my vault. So put two and two together, because if you don't get why I'm saying this, it might not make sense. What this is allowing a person to do is make transparent a payout for a deal that happened offline and allow the payment management and the deal certification and the comp plan structuring per transaction for any personalized deal that they're working on, whereby the person that's uploading the deal is the person that is clearly got paid for it. He's the guy that took all the money and he's dispersing it using the BrokerApp. And just like that, you can make umpteen. You can have many custom deals. You could use the entire BrokerApp without participating in any of the licenses, just for being able to manage all of the custom deals you work on. And they could range from, obviously, as they increase in degree of complexity, from gigantic merger and acquisitions to a sale of a couple of shoes that you did the other day, where you had to split it with your buddy. It is the lifelong problem. The reason I say lifelong problem is because one of the things I despise about just the way this works is when you have to make a breakup of payments, like when you work on a deal with a person and you got to decide how they're getting paid and who's paying them and kind of who's managing that, it never goes well. This makes it transparent, sets everything up. It's almost like a virtual contract that gets posted with your own transaction. All the commissions can be managed. You just put coins into your own account and it gets paid out. It's the ultimate CRM, ultimate payment management, and it gives everybody the ability to now structure whatever offline deals work and have nothing to do with global exchange or even crypto for that matter, but you could pay your comms in crypto. Yeah, let's put that out there.
So to clarify,
I'll make training videos on what I just said, but I just wanted to be clear on that. I just wanted to put it out there for the first time.
So,
Yeah.
so to clarify, there's three of us putting this deal together. Two of us are splitting 50-50, and what's left over, and the first guy's getting 20%. So I've got a 40%, a 40%, and a 20%. And I put that in there, and then when the transaction is done, it's automatically paid equally or the amount where it needs to go.
Because you have all the money. The assumption is the person who's posting the transaction to the broker chain is the guy that for some reason collected all the revenue, right? So you three of your friends work on a deal, and say one guy was just because it was his banking information or something, he got all the money, but now he needs to pay that out. I mean, this happens all the time. This literally happens all the time. It happens between family members, let alone business partners. So yeah, that's, Alan, exactly what you just said. It's taking the power of the broker chain. And when I say broker chain, I'm not talking about any specific comp, because you're setting the comp at the point of transaction, and whatever you want to do we don't care. But it's basically taking the power of what we created and now giving it to any person for any obscure transaction and allowing it to be monitored and regulated on the broker chain. So
if you cut this piece out of this video, that will be enough. There's enough in here to cut this piece out of the video, and it'll be another great feature and a long list of features. So going back prior to this one, I just want to point out Helen Moss said, Indeed impressive. Before this one, to Indeed impressive innovation and development.
Spend crypto.
For those of you, Spend Crypto. So for those of you who don't know, Helen's been around for, heading into 2 years, and she's built up a pretty sizable group. And so she's watching the development from the outside in. She's watching her group grow and collecting money on a monthly basis, regardless if she gets out of bed or not. So sometimes she doesn't. Anyways, so that was her note here. And I just want to say that, from my perspective, I agree. It is definitely an impressive innovation in the Spend Crypto. Then right behind him, we've got Richard, who's now asking for when we would have an outline of the commissions. And I think
I answered that question.
Yeah, well, you said we're going to get together, have a quick talk about that, and then we'll we'll punch it out. So it should be out within 48 hours, I would think.
Well, and just to reiterate, I did say that, but to reiterate this, the sauce. The thing that the broker app actually allows every broker to control is the fees. What we have to still give to you is the outline of how those fees are broken up. But as of now, the harder part is not to give you that outline. The harder part is to make it so that you, as any individual, can control. Just think about this for 1 second. You're controlling the interest rate at a user level. You're controlling the exchange fee at a user level. I mean, these are things that institutions spend obnoxious amount of, forget about money, to even conceive, to be able to put it together is lunacy. And just to be able to just say, okay, I'm changing the interest rate that my customers are going to receive on, some chain pay or whatever random coin, and doing it in 2 seconds as a prime broker. Yeah, that's what we're talking about here.
Okay, so moving forward, we also have Keno. He's out there playing a game. Turns out he thinks you just hit a touchdown. So yeah, so
no, I'm cutting the don't get me in the end zone, man. I'm not. Don't get me close to the end zone. I'm running out the build. I'm gonna catch that ball, run out the building.
Somebody thinks you're playing football. So anyway, so that's good. We got some good response. So one other thing I want to mention, it's 11 minutes to the hour, and that would
That
would mark the end of our call. So I would think maybe right now, if we have any questions, we could get them out in regards to these couple new beautiful features. If anybody would like to ask something on that, that'd be a good time right now. Let's see, I don't have anybody typing anything, but
I actually want to. What are we at? We're at 11 minutes, you say?
Yeah.
Okay, give me 1 sec. I'm actually trying to get one version right here. This is it. Copy. Chrome. Oh, since that's Spend Crypto. Oh, Spend Crypto. And the fact that you have to understand, the domains are nuts. I mean, I literally had to crawl and cry like a baby to make sure I got spendcrypto.com, because I knew the person that owned it, like from a while back. I'd been watching that. And she, who is a large domain investor, was not thrilled about foregoing with it. But yeah, it's a hell of a platform.
Well, Constantine mentioned about buying gift cards.
Yeah, you could buy a gift card. Actually, the thing that I've tested out the credit on is like Amazon gift cards. So you can do, like, I'm trying to restrict myself from speaking on what you can do with the cards, because I'm obviously, there's consequences for me saying things, but that is what I tried it on, and it worked flawlessly. Like, I bought a $5 Amazon gift card and flawlessly. I'm obviously the only one that's made a transaction. I think I have a video of me doing that transaction. I was supposed to publish that to YouTube. And the gentleman, I'll put this into perspective. The reason Spend Crypto is a thing is, I mean, that we obviously, like, it required a bank, but a bank doesn't build what we're talking about. This is, like I said, I've built now the software for banks and vendors. So I mean, we took it to a whole new level. But the bank that even gave me the confidence to go and do this only came to me because this actually a South American bank. We're gonna make a press statement soon. They own an agency. That's how I know them. So the owner of one of the agencies, we're not going to disclose right now, his family has been into legacy banking in Latin America, and they've been working on prepaid MasterCards for a long time in Latin America. By the way, this is one of the incredible circumstances that we've set up. In Latin America, the way that cards are issued is also different. So the MasterCard licenses are different. I can't go into too much detail about this. It's one of the reasons this is even possible the way that it does. And the reason I'm saying all of that is, and we are going to release I make a public statement with the bank and everything, is that guy started an agency and then said, Shorupan, hey, are you interested in doing cards? And I laughed and I said, yeah, man. So I'm also interested in being like 6'5", playing in the NBA, but it's not tenable. And he said, no, this is what we do. And I've worked for a little, like 4 or 5 months now, worked with them. And then once I saw that it was possible, I said, all right, give me like another 2 months. I'm going to go build out the entire ecosystem. Because he said, why don't you just release this for global exchange? I said, because that sounds like, something Coinbase would do. It's far too boring. And now we built out the Spend Crypto.
I've got a couple of people questioning about NFC, hooking up with NFC, using NFC tech if necessary.
No, that's okay. So one gentleman who I'm familiar with has a hookup to NFC. And yeah, absolutely. We can definitely work with anybody who has NFC. It's really not an NFC problem, but if we're not competent in that domain, so we would love to work with someone who is. I'll put it like that. Okay. I did want to show this. Is Helen Ma still on this call? Is Kino still on this call? Though I'm sure Kino's still on the call because his last message was him.
Yes.
Shout out PaySup.io. I saw that earlier. For some reason it came across my dashboard today, PaySup.io. Watch this.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So I went into just for you guys that didn't see, I clicked Global Exchange. There's a new profile page for the brands. You got about the company, you got opportunity, you have offers, and you can see the channel, which is their calendar. But you click follow, you still go to follow, and you see the brands. Okay, so then you have their licenses. Okay, so now when I want to buy BrokerApp Prime, and I click purchase, and I click I'm a legacy broker, the entire system, I genuinely will tell you this, I spent 48 hours on this one stupid sequence because it was so much old stuff and new stuff, but it's immaculate. And so all you have to do if you're a legacy broker is click if you qualify, read the qualifications, proceed. You're going to be able to pick the license that you're going to go with. In this case, it's the Crypto Brokerage Premium. Proceed. Select the vault. You can use GXT, you can use USD, you can use Timbuktu. It's fine. I'm going to use this, and it's going to generate a quote after grandfather benefit. And look at what it says. Sorry, Shorupan, you're not able to because Shorupan has already utilized the grandfather license. So it tells you if you've utilized it or not. And even if you've utilized it, it still lets you see the quote, just to let you know that it's still working for those of you that have already utilized it. So when you click view quote, it breaks it down. I don't know which currency I selected I want to pay with, though. That's a good question. Maybe Ethereum. It opens up and it breaks down the entire grandfather benefit, the deductions in your compensation. So was it US? What did I select? BTC. Perfect. I selected that I'm going to pay in Bitcoin for the difference, right? The difference within the first month is the difference between the grandfather, not grandfather. So look how detailed I made it. This is all for you. Pre-discount costs in USD, legacy USD staking discount, monthly and first time. Post-discount costs in USD, and as you can see, if you're getting a grandfather, your post-discount monthly is free because that's a grandfather. You don't pay monthly. And then I selected to pay with Bitcoin, and it breaks it down into how much exactly I'm going to pay in the difference, just because I'm only paying the first month. And I would click proceed. Again, I wouldn't because I've already used it, and even with me already not qualifying, it still breaks everything down. So anybody who has a legacy brokerage license, I literally went and built the Kalamazoo farm here for you guys to have every piece of data on how you upgrade and get grandfathered in, and that works immaculately with the latest update. Shout out to Kino.
I just want to say to end the call, we're down to a few minutes. Everything you've shown here today, these 2 extra features, I mean, people are going to really think they're chewing this up, and they're going to start playing around with it, and I think it's great. I don't think anybody's going to complain. In fact, it's awesome. It might excite some people. But I want to just go back to the basics for 1 second. I had, by the way, he's on the call. I have a friend on the call who put in somewhere a little under $2 grand or so. I'm not sure. Yesterday. Okay. And all he wanted to do is get himself into some nice interest, maybe go do a bond or something. And before he got up the next day, it was up $500. He hasn't even hit the bonds yet, I don't think. So I'm just saying, if you go back to the basics, remember, we're dealing with something where the world is floating in here. And just by getting going with it, just start moving some in here, start utilizing, even if you're just doing a few $100 to practice, right? Get going because the world is turning this direction. And Shorupan is keep moving and adding more and more pieces. And and it's new. Remember, we're at the very beginning, so don't expect it to be perfect. You know, there's going to be problems.
It won't be.
But
it won't be.
And Shorupan may not respond immediately, but don't think he's not thinking about it. Of course he is. He's probably got 20 people saying the same thing, but he's the top guy and he's answered to a ton of people and he's got a lot of big clients that he has to deal with as well as us. So give him the time, give him the breathing room, right? You know, he's heading the right direction. We know even without him, we're heading the right direction by learning all this. So the combination of the two is putting us on a platform that can send us to the moon faster than you could possibly imagine. as Helen is experiencing now, her work from a year and a half, 2 years ago is really starting to pay. And a lot of those people that kind of fell asleep, and they just because, you know, some things weren't perfect yet, and we didn't have Insta Crypto, and, you know, we didn't have this nice structure and pay and all that, but they're coming up, they're showing up. There's a few on the call right now that have not been around for a while.
Oh,
And now
guys.
they're showing up. So guys, it is going to turn. And I've said this over and over again, the next 6 months to 24 months, 80% of the people out there that have bank accounts are now moving into crypto. The industry is forcing it here. So you're going to see some growth today, but next month it'll be a bit more than that growth. And then the month after that, it'll be a bit more than that growth. This is what we're facing. And so I just want to appreciate Shorupan for the additions. These are amazing additions, like really great additions on top of my favorite. I don't know why I like it so much, but that block check is, I really like the block check. So I got stuck with the block check.
No, it's cool, man. It's I wanted to say, that's funny.
I just want to say, I love block check so much because I hate freaking PayPal. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah. So upgrading your license, whether you're upgrading it from a normal broker app license to another one, is flawless. And upgrading it from your legacy GX tokens is now flawless. And signing up on the web for those who are having trouble signing up on the phone is also now flawless. So I think those were the three primary kind of pain in the side concerns. Even like Kino sat with me a week or so ago and painted out a couple of issues with block check. All of them I fixed. If you click like, you know, send directly to their iPhone, you now get to see a normal link, an assisted link, and it shows you the link there before sending it. I mean, there's a million things that I've already kind of configured the bugs for on the both, and it's on the web. The entire web version of BrokerApp is also done. I'm not speaking about it as much because I'm trying to issue this out one at a time. Alan, I appreciate everything that you just said. Bitcoin, I honestly have not even been able to enjoy this Bitcoin boom because I've been so consumed with everything that we're doing. Nobody in their foggiest, most psychedelic imaginations would be able to believe if you told them that on your phone between 3 apps you can do what those apps do. They just won't believe it. There's no way you will be able to convince them that it's true. And so that gives, so first of all, don't try to be a smart aleck and try to convince them everything is right. But number 2, like I love what Alan said, stick to the basics, get them in, sign them up, get them crypto, basic stuff. But number 2, just sit with that for a second. Like, if we're 50% right, this is stratospheric. This is, it's unbelievable, right? If we're half wrong because of the amount of I hate using the word innovation. I really don't like that word, but mainly because of the amount of forward thinking that we've implemented inside of these applications. Now you have 3. 1 more has been added today for you guys. Go to Spend Crypto, download the app, iPhone, iOS, Android, go nuts.
Anyways, guys, Bitcoin is hovering around 23,000.
Oh God, I hate it when it's so high. I actually get so nervous when it's so high.
It started at 10,200 hours before the crash with COVID-19, and in short order it was back up to 10 grand while the Wall Street and everything else was still down. So we know where it's going. India's open now. PayPal's open now. The customers are coming in, the numbers are going up, and all the billionaire companies, I shouldn't say all because they're not there yet, but many of the billionaire companies are now paying attention, and a few are already in. There are 6,100 billionaire companies that do $1 billion a year, and we've seen the first come in. There are now many others coming in, and they're out searching to bring more in. Even investment companies that were based on gold are switching to crypto. What does that tell you? Guys, this is the future. The Great American Reset, or the Great Reset, is coming, and potentially very, very soon. So come and join us. Let's get your money rolling up rather than down. And on behalf of everybody, we really appreciate having Shorupan here, and can't wait for the next State of the Union. So
thank you so much.
With that, I see 2 hands up, but I think they've been original hands up, and I forgot to put them down. Richard, is it a new one or no? Ian, is it a new hand up?
I think Ian's saying is to get the old State of the Unions on YouTube. Yeah, they'll be in YouTube. They'll also be in your broker app very soon. But tonight, I'll upload them tonight.
Okay, there, yeah. And and Bill would like to say, thank you very much.
Remember, your net worth is your net worth. BrokerApp shirt coming also to the BrokerApp near you. Literally, the BrokerApp is the only technology that actually validates that same corny ass quote that everybody says. Actually, this app lets you put your network in and monetize them and valuate them. It's never been done in the history of the world, and that's not even me being hyperbolic. That's never been done.
I'll tell you what, there's many times in the years past, I wish I had that, because people
That's what I'm trying to say. Not only does it let you fix your network, but now it lets you do custom deals with your network. So when you sign someone up, you can literally sign them up and say, you don't even need to worry about these brands. I just need you to sign up so that we can do this. We can finish this deal and I could pay you. Think about how in just that. I mean, yeah, we'll talk after.
No, I know. I've been in networking for a long time. To be able to have an assessment of my downline and watch it grow, and then share that with people, how quickly they would get in, how quickly.
And you never have to, just think about it. You never have to rebuild that network. You never have to rebuild it. It's so much easier to bring the brand to the broker app than to bring your network to the brand. You have all the value. The network is the value. Why would you be a clown and jump from company to company? Just tell the company to join the app and your network's there already.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if everybody gets that one. That's a good one.
Yeah, no, it'll take some time.
Yeah,
it'll take some time.
The next call, the next intro Zoom viewing is at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please arrive 5 minutes early. Bring a guest. Tell them nothing. Let's just get the whole show under the belt. Tell them nothing, man. Just tell them you got.
I like it. I like it. I actually like it.
The world is turning, because you know what? If you start talking like Shorupan does, the guy's going to be way over his head, or he's going to be, I know more about crypto than you, or he'll come up with every excuse. But if they know nothing,
no, you're right. I'd say you want to tell them limited information. I agree with that.
Yeah, very limited. Just get them to come and look, and then away they go. You'll $23,003.01.
That's not the all-time high, right?
That is, no, it's not. It's been 23,003 or 400 already.
That was last night or something. I mean, broke, whenever it broke, right? Like, also there's a new, this I think symbolizes, I know you gotta go, this symbolizes everything about the broker app as it's coming out right now, is the new logo animation. It's just uploaded to YouTube. So brace yourself, watch, if you can still see my screen. I recommend you go watch it. It's really interesting. So brace yourself for the release of the most important app of 2020. I genuinely believe that. Watch this. That was the second biggest, that search query. I don't know if you guys saw that. This is search that says, how can I make money from my phone? That was the second most Googled thing of 2020 after, how do I know if I have coronavirus? And that is, that's stats.
No, coronavirus had to come first, then the phone.
Well, I mean, yeah, well, because people, I'm not worried. Then the second thing is, I'm sitting my ass at home, excuse my French. How do I make money from my phone? Ladies and gentlemen, there's only one proper way to make money from your phone, and it's the broker app. So yeah. I will talk to you all soon.
Under our coronavirus friendly business.
Oh, coronavirus prosperous business, I would say. Yes. All right, guys, take it easy.
Yeah, thanks, Shorupan. So guys, tonight we're not less than an hour away. Just show up at 10-2-5-2, introduce your guest if you can. That's always good. Be your friend, and let's get them through the meeting tonight. Lots of updates on the meeting, new stuff as far as how the world is turning in the direction and where we're going. So until then, take a break and we'll see you back here. Hopefully you can all join us back here, especially the guys that from the old school. That's everybody prior to September 1st, 2020. And you can come and see how we're introducing somebody into the business to understand not so much the business itself, and the features in it, but why they need to get here. Once they have that established in their heart, they'll just start developing. You don't need This is not something you got to push down people's throat. All you got to do is get them to the point of understanding the whole world is heading here. Once they understand that, then they're going to just want to learn more and more and more. And even though you were in here, for an example, I'll use Ian, you've been in here, you want to know all these new things that have been developed the past 3, 4, 5 months that you didn't have a year and a half ago, or however long. I'm not sure when you came in, but, or Keno, for an example. So that's what we do, is we get their headspace to say, oh my God, this is exactly where the world is going. I need to go here. Whether I'm going to just be a customer or a broker or a prime broker, I know that the world is coming here. I know I need to head here. I know the crash is coming. By the way, it was on Time magazine, right? This is not made up stuff, right? It sounds scary, but it's coming. So the bottom line is we're in the protection mode to help get those people into a financial position where they don't fall off the cliff, because that's what's happening. It's been going down 3% a year since December 23rd, 1913. Yeah. Since December 23rd, 1913, and then at 1945, when all the world put their money against the US dollar, and it's been going down 3% every year. They call it inflation. It's a lie. It's actually deflating your money by adding a whole bunch of money out of nowhere, just printing it like this, you know, like 1 trillion and 3 trillion they did this year, or the 85 billion since October 2008, 30 days to follow the Wall Street crash of September 30th, 2008. And then they just said, oh, quantum easing, here's 85 billion out of nowhere every single month for 12 years. You cannot add this kind of water to your soup before everybody goes and spits it out. Okay, guys, this is it. But the timing is freaking, there's so little time left. Like I heard as early as Christmas, actual day, that the reset was coming. So if it happens, they say it was 2020. I mean, how much further do we got to go? The bottom line is, what if? So let's be prepared for, the worst. Prepare for the worst, hope for the best. And with that, take care, guys.